It's tomorrow morning. Every human being on Earth, all 8 billion of us, is gone. Not dead, just gone. No bodies, no wreckage, no explanation. The world looks exactly as we left it. Lights are on, engines are running, nuclear power plants are ticking. Somewhere, a phone is ringing with no one left to answer it. For the first few hours, nothing seems wrong. Then the systems start to fail. Modern power grids require constant human monitoring and adjustment. Within hours of our disappearance, small fluctuations in supply and demand, no longer corrected by engineers, begin cascading through the network. Within 24 hours, most of the world's power grids have failed. Cities go dark, pumping stations stop, water pressure drops. Anything relying on electricity, which is nearly everything we built, begins its slow countdown to silence. Nuclear power plants are the most immediate danger. Most are designed to shut down safely without human intervention, but safe shutdown still requires cooling systems to run for days or weeks. Without operators to monitor and maintain them, some plants would experience partial meltdowns within days. The exclusion zones around them would become some of the most contaminated places on Earth for a while. But here is where it gets surprising. Within days, nature notices the silence. Bird populations in urban areas begin behaving differently almost immediately, singing earlier, ranging further, occupying spaces they previously avoided. Deer, foxes, and wild boar begin moving into city outskirts within the first week. The absence of human noise, light, and activity sends an immediate signal through ecosystems that something fundamental has changed. Within a year, vegetation begins reclaiming roads and pavements. Plant roots are extraordinarily patient. They have been waiting beneath every sidewalk and highway, growing slowly, probing for cracks. Without maintenance, those cracks become fractures, and those fractures become soil. Within a decade, forests are advancing into former suburbs. Rivers, freed from upstream management, begin flooding their natural floodplains, the ones we spent centuries draining and building on. The animals return in waves. First, the small opportunists, rats, pigeons, urban foxes, then the larger predators following the prey. Wolves recolonize Western Europe within decades. Bears reclaim mountain regions. In coastal areas, marine populations explode without the pressure of commercial fishing. The oceans begin recovering at a speed that would astonish marine biologists alive today. Within 300 years, most surface structures we built would be gone. Wooden buildings collapse within decades. Steel and concrete follow within centuries as corrosion, frost, and root systems do their patient work. The great cities, New York, London, Tokyo, become forested ruins, then just forests. In 1,000 years, a visitor from space would struggle to find evidence we were ever here at all. Almost. Some of our impacts are not so easily erased. Plastics designed to resist degradation persist in ocean sediments for tens of thousands of years. High-level nuclear waste remains dangerous for hundreds of thousands. And the carbon dioxide we have pumped into the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution would continue warming the planet for thousands of years after our disappearance. A ghost of our civilization lingering in the chemistry of the air itself. Nature is powerful, but it is not infinitely forgiving. We have left marks deep enough to outlast our buildings, our cities, and our entire recorded history. So what does this thought experiment actually tell us? It tells us that Earth is extraordinarily resilient, capable of healing wounds we assumed were permanent, on timescales that make our entire civilization look like a brief interruption. It tells us that most of what we call damage is not permanent. It is just ongoing. Stop causing it, and healing begins almost immediately. And perhaps most importantly, it tells us something about the relationship between this planet and the species currently running it. Earth doesn't need us. It was here for 4 billion years before we arrived, and it will be here for billions more after we are gone. The forests will return, the oceans will recover, the silence will be filled. We are the ones who need it, and we always have been.